It was a hot summer morning in New Orleans, and the courthouse was crowded with reporters and flashing cameras. Judge Marcus Reed had only minutes before one of the most important trials of his life, a case that could change how racial profiling was treated in Louisiana. As he walked toward the side entrance to avoid the crowd, a young white police officer stepped directly in front of him. The officer's hand rested near his belt, his eyes filled with suspicion. He didn't care about Marcus's title, the years he had served, or the black robe hanging neatly in his office. At that moment, Marcus wasn't seen as a judge. He was seen as a suspect. What happened next shocked everyone. Judge Marcus Reed was used to long days in court, but this morning felt different. The trial he was about to lead wasn't just another case, it was personal. A young black man named Kevin Daniels claimed he had been stopped and arrested in his own neighborhood for no reason. The arresting officer said Kevin matched a description, but the report gave no real details. Marcus had seen this before, too many times. He parked a few blocks from the courthouse to avoid the busy front steps filled with cameras. As he walked, he felt the weight of what this trial meant. It wasn't just Kevin's future on the line, it was a chance to send a message to every community watching. Marcus knew the struggle of being doubted. Growing up in the South, he had faced prejudice at school, at work, and even in everyday life. Every success had come with the quiet challenge of proving he belonged. Over the years, he learned to control his emotions, trust the law, and let evidence guide him. But deep inside, he knew this case was different. As he approached the courthouse's side door, Marcus saw a young white police officer guarding it. The man's eyes followed him closely. "Sir, this entrance is restricted. You'll need to use the public doors," the officer said, his tone sharp. Marcus calmly showed his official ID. The officer barely glanced at it. "This could be fake. I need another ID." Marcus handed over his driver's license. The officer studied it but didn't step aside. Instead, he began asking questions. Why Marcus was there so early, who gave him permission to use that door, and why he wasn't entering from the front. The tone was not one of routine security. It was disbelief. Disbelief that a black man could be a judge. People passing by began to watch. Some recognized Marcus but said nothing. The officer radioed someone. "I've got a male here claiming to be a judge. Black male, mid-50s, dark suit, briefcase. Says he needs access to the east entrance." Marcus felt his stomach tighten. He thought of his father's words. No matter how high you climb, some people will only see you as they want to see you. A small crowd formed. The air felt heavier. Marcus could call security, but part of him wanted to see how far this officer would take it. The side door opened. A senior courthouse guard stepped out, spotted Marcus, and froze. "Judge Reed, we've been waiting for you," he said loudly. The officer stiffened. "You know him?" "Know him? He's presiding over today's trial," the guard said sharply. He snatched the ID from the officer's hand and gave it back to Marcus. "You've been holding up court business." The officer's face turned pale, but his pride kept him silent. "Just doing my job," he muttered. Marcus stepped closer, speaking evenly. "Your job is to protect this courthouse and everyone in it. That includes me. But today, you treated me as a threat, not because of anything I did, but because of who you assumed I was." The officer looked away. The crowd stayed silent. Marcus didn't yell or threaten him. He simply said, "I'll see you in my courtroom." Minutes later, Marcus took his seat at the bench. The same officer stood in the back of the courtroom, now assigned to provide security for the trial. The case was clear. Kevin Daniels had been wrongfully detained. The evidence showed bias, not law, had guided the arrest. As testimony went on, the officer shifted uncomfortably. The stories he heard echoed what he had done to Marcus only an hour earlier. When it came time to deliver his judgment, Marcus's voice was steady. He spoke about the Constitution, the duty of police, and the harm caused when assumptions replace facts. "This is not just about one man's dignity," he said. "It's about whether we will treat each other with fairness and respect. Justice is not a favor. It is a right." He ruled in Kevin's favor, ordered compensation, and called for a formal review of the arresting officer's conduct. After court, the young officer approached Marcus. "Judge, I didn't realize." Marcus held up a hand. "Realizing is the first step. Changing is the next." When Marcus left the courthouse, reporters swarmed him. His only statement was, "What happened today, both in and out of this courtroom, should remind us. Prejudice wastes time, hurts lives, and blinds us to truth." That clip went viral. It sparked national conversations about bias, dignity, and the small moments that can reveal bigger problems. And somewhere in New Orleans, one young officer replayed the morning in his mind, knowing he would never look at the courthouse steps, or the people climbing them, the same way again.